What's going on there, fellow RC fans on YouTube? We're taking a look this time at a product from HobbyKing, the Desert Fox Desert Racer 1/10 scale 4-wheel drive. Pretty impressive looking little machine so far. I haven't ridden it yet, but we're going to do my first impressions review like we always do when we get a new thing. So here's the box it came in. You know me, I like to look. I don't like to open on camera. Sorry, I need to see it. So it features a 2.2mm aluminum chassis and top deck, spare tire you can actually use, oil-filled coil-over shocks for solid handling. We'll get to the shocks, I'm not a huge fan. 5 light buckets, you can add your own LEDs. Go over that. Adjustable slipper clutch, gotta love that. Front and rear metal gear diffs, front CVD axles, which is awesome, CVD axle in the front. Trackstar 45 amp ESC and a 3000 kV brushless motor. It's got a 9 kilogram Terranergy digital servo. Those are the specs in millimeters if you're interested. It's America, I do inches. I don't know what that converts to, but it converts to about the same size as a Slash styled vehicle. That's what I'll tell you right now. So, got the motor, yada, spare tire, easy battery access, which is pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's super easy, but it's still cool. LED light buckets, oil-filled shocks, yeah, sure they are. And seems pretty good. Let's get that out of here. Alright, here's the transmitter it comes with. It's basically like a copy of the Red Cat. Maybe Red Cat copied them, I don't know. 4 AA batteries, but I am a fan of these. They work extremely well. They do, everything I want them to do. Throttle reverse, steering reverse, trim, throttle trim, steering direction, on, off. That's really the most important things. And, you really miss these items when you buy something like a cheap Traxxas, because they don't have all these options on the cheap Traxxas controllers. So, not a bad remote. I'm a fan of them. If you got the huge hands, I always do the huge hand comparison. Yeah, there's not a lot of room if you're a big monster hand guy. But for $22 odd, you can get them on eBay. They're fantastic. So let's go over the truck. First thing I want to talk about that I saw right away was just the overall scale and look. So you can see that next to a Slash, it's relatively the same size. It's similar. And I have the low-seat Buggy over here drying out because it was wet. And let's just get a little scale comparison here, one versus the other, and you can see they're definitely in the same ballpark. Relatively similar wheelbase, similar length, similar widths. It's about the same. I mean, this is a little bigger, maybe not by much. Maybe this is just the body makes it look bigger, but overall, very similar. Oh, we did get an instruction manual, which I haven't opened. Bind plug. Not a lot of spare parts or anything. And then they give you a little sticker sheet if that's what you're into. So back to the truck. Car thing. Alright, so again, first thing I noticed was scale size. I thought it looked pretty badass too, with the black tires and the black rim, or the black rims, and just the overall style, the way they did like a desert type camo. And just it's a sharp looking truck. It really is for the price. So I paid $165 free shipping from HobbyKing for this vehicle. I didn't get it for free. They didn't send it to me. I bought it. $165. They do sell it, I believe, as a kit and as an almost ready to run with no remote. So I think it's a little cheaper, but then you have to get it from Hong Kong, with shipping ends up being more. So it's actually cheaper, in my opinion, to just get the whole RTR ready to go right out the box. Unless for a fact you're going to get rid of the motor, then I would say obviously get the kit. But if you're spending all that money on a motor, you're probably not going to want to put it in this $165 RC. Let's be realistic and let's be honest. So wing is detachable, came with it. Again, you get that spare tire that's actually usable. You get the LED light buckets. You can see you could clearly put some LEDs in there, no problem at all. Little fantastic design. I have the Red Cat Sandstorm, which is a little smaller than this Buggy, but you can see I did put some lights up in here, so it's kind of that similar design. So that's the Sandstorm next to it, if you're considering the Sandstorm, which I wouldn't. It's garbage. So, all right. I keep flopping it around, and we keep seeing that. You see that, right? Well, look at this. I mean, it's just so... It's such a hoppy truck. I have a feeling it's going to really show it out in the track. This ass end is going to be all over the place. So they're saying it's got these oil-filled shocks. And I mean, if you look, they're threaded, and they're aluminum topped, kind of like the other ones were. But they're not even all that far out. And they have a ton of bounciness. So I might have to rebuild them. I might have to replace them. For the price, I really can't complain. Especially when virtually everything I've been buying lately, Traxxas, Arma, Losi, they're all coming with composite shocks, and they're all obliterating. And then everyone says, oh, just upgrade to aluminum. Okay, well then, what does the difference if I have these cheap-ass shocks on here if I'm going to upgrade to aluminum anyway? So, not a big deal for me there either. I'll ride them until they're completely done. When they're dead, they're dead. You see there's just like no coils. There's just like, it's just like, what's that, like a 3-wrap? So to take the front off, you need, it's kind of like this Delosi Super Baja Ray, and the sides as well. You're going to need to take a bunch of screws out if you want to get these side panels off. Not that it's really absolutely necessary, because we're going to show you that this whole thing kind of just flips up. But real quick, let's take a look around. So we got 4 steel dog bones, 4-wheel drive this vehicle is. You see that's got a nice thick chassis, all aluminum. The only thing you got to watch out for jumping with this thing is it kind of folding in on itself. But it has this upper top plate, which I'm thinking is going to hold it all together pretty well. Both are aluminum. But see, it's real nice and flat. It has that same problem as the Vandal, where we can clearly get junk up in here. So that's one thing I'm not in love with. And then, I don't know what this is for. I'm guessing this is to access maybe the pinion gear or the spur gear. But, as you land, stuff's going to get all jammed up on that as well. But, again, for the price, I can't be too critical. A-arms seem fine. Plastic seems to be solid. We'll see if we're breaking this stuff left and right. It does have a bumper in the back. It's not going to take any impact. It's hard as hell. Same thing with the front. It's got no give whatsoever. I see a lot of the new vehicles, they kind of have this in and out motion. So if you want to take the top off, you got to pull this pin out here, which really isn't that bad. It's putting them back in that sucks. And then there's another one over here on this side. You can see it's right there. So this one's not as easy to get to. So not my favorite design, but if you put like, some body clip retainers, you'll be able to get to them really easily. Not a big, again, not a huge deal. If this was a $500 product, I would be bitching, but for the price, you really just can't. So this thing holds, just out of here, folds up and out of the way. It's beautiful. Nice, simple battery tray. Very simple, I might add. But it does a job. It'll hold your standard battery. It'll even hold one of the taller batteries, like the 8,000 mile style tall batteries, as long as it's the standard footprint of your average battery. Again, there's that aluminum top deck that we were talking about, which is going to hopefully give it strength when it's doing this. We can look inside there. You can see that slipper clutch, and it's all adjustable inside there, which is great. A lot of more expensive vehicles don't come with slipper clutches, and you can't adjust them, and that kind of sucks. So there's your speed controller. As I said, it's a 45 amp, nothing crazy, not too powerful. It's 2S, 3S capable, 3,000 kV motor. There's your receiver. It's going to be inside that waterproofish box. And then you got your digital Turnigy servo back down in there. You can kind of see what's going on in there. Doesn't sound Metal Gear, but I guess it could be. I'm not real sure. We'll see if it does an adequate job. Again, like the Vandal, not a lot of protection around the gearing. Everything is just kind of open for rocks, dirt, to just throw right up inside there. Not the best. Now, one thing that's cool is you can see that this whole other side is totally open. So if you really wanted to, you could definitely get another tray that was longer for the longer styled batteries, whatever kind they may be, and mount that inside here somehow, and then use a longer battery, because there's just a ton of room. All right. I don't know what else there really is to say about it. I mean, people bash this stuff, this HobbyKing stuff, but for $165 ready to run minus the battery, you really can't beat it. I mean, that Losi was $400 and it broke after the second time I used it. So, and I'm only riding around on the track. So I'm not sure what to expect. But we're going to find out because I'm going to run it on 2S and 3S for you. So that way we can get an idea and see how fast it is, how controllable it is, what kind of laps it can put down because we got the lap monitor finally running. So I'm going to throw that lap monitor thing over in there, see if we can do a couple hot laps and see. But as far as the truck goes, 165 hours so far, I am satisfied. You know, I really can't complain. You just never know what you're going to get because I was really satisfied with this car, this Red Cat Sandstorm, until I started wrenching on it and it broke constantly, and then all of a sudden my awesome $120 purchase ended up being, you know, kind of more of a pain in the ass. And we're going to chronicle the Sandstorm eventually. It just doesn't seem to be that exciting at the moment, and I'm kind of pissed off at it, so I don't really want to talk about it. So we're gonna keep going with this truck. So tires are kind of, you know, what do you want for $165? It does look like, you know, Traxxas Slash style tires will fit on here, no problem. It does have very little bit of an offset, whereas like the Slash tires are kind of inset more. But I'm sure they'll be fine. And they seem like they'll do the job for the amount of power this thing is going to put down. You know, looks like they have enough tread. Again, if you're going to go crazy with tires on this, having all kinds of specific compounds, that really isn't what this vehicle is designed for. It's just a cheap desert racer. People bash around, brake, and what have you. So, overall, I'm happy. Can't complain. Let's go run it and find out. I'll see you in the next video, alright? John from Hot Lap RC.